Flash thing off. Okay. Now, I need you to be like her. They can't open up a little bit more. The blinds.
Yeah, open it.
Can they open up a little bit more? Tell me, y'all gotta give me some. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I think. There you go. There we go. Yeah, we gotta drop them a little bit low. Just tell me green when that motherfucker get there. When it get there. But I need to. I'm good. But that mic. It's good. Let me see. Okay, now I gotta space out. Let me space out real quick because I'm trying to get everybody all in one.
If I had to come closer, then that's fine. Just need to make sure we can bring him in. Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking.
Where should I?
Hold on.
As the nine, did I put them in there?
Well, you know what though? Actually, I just thought about something. Actually, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to try this out first. Let me try this for a second. This is how we do this.
Right.
I'm gonna be able to see what I could be able to see everything myself. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, let's do that. Actually,
there we go. Wow, I got everything. That way, I be
glad
controlled.
Okay.
I just want to let y'all know I'm not slow. I'm just having camera issues. I know
I do the same thing.
Okay,
But turn it that way so Precious can see if there's questions on
that's
there
what I was
too.
thinking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely
That makes
right.
more sense.
It's good and the smell and everything.
Yeah, I got to remember I'm the same age y'all are. So right, but y'all don't have to go through the hot work. That's the only difference.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, so I am. I'm 50. I turned in October of last year.
Oh, did you?
50. What we doing, baby? Oh, okay. Yeah. That's how I know. Right.
You got your flash on?
I know.
Flash. So you self mode.
All right, perfect.
I knew you could say something stupid. I knew you could say something different. I already did.
When you get ready to go live, just hit that button right there.
I already knew
You gotta be at least 65.
I knew you could say something.
I think you identify as well.
Now I think she's
Yeah,
alive.
this thing kind of can't handle the real good.
Boy, she got you almost. She had an ace.
She don't have to turn it back now towards her.
That's
Thank
bad.
you.
I just want you to know that you were very selfish right now.
I got you in a minute. Hold tight.
You are just very selfish right now. You didn't turn it around.
Hold
I'm just saying, we clap. You gotta understand, he takes away too.
What I tell y'all? I'm like,
I'm just playing.
oh my God, one of my girlfriends got me and she was like, baby, I think it's about time for you to get one of them fans because you be like,
Where did she find it from? So,
Amazon.
I want one right now.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Like none like be doing like this.
Right back to her now.
I told you.
No, cause I had to set his up and then set yours up. Cause I was getting. All right, here. All right. Okay. Boom. All right. Last one out.
So you really gonna do that?
All right.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
040404.
I got you.
It is repetitive. 040404.
Okay, dial up your total line.
Gotcha.
I had
That's how we're gonna do this deal.
I
Like
didn't
this.
for you.
That way I ain't gotta do
I
that.
don't think, I mean.
I didn't let them eat shit. I didn't do stuff. I didn't let them.
The child said it means so much to me that you didn't feel my heart. I'm overwhelmed. I thought about me calling you selfish was false, so maybe you could turn that fan around a little bit, but I see it there.
You gotta understand. I promise you, right now, this is my saving grace. I am not being selfish, but
Until the day month that you've been sitting.
You know what you said? I can say what you don't want to say. You don't know. Look, when you said that, she said, "Hey, you said this big mother." You a grown man.
Want my damn pretty pink goddamn
Say,
thing.
wow, leave.
Say everything you can. Don't worry about it.
Alright.
what we need.
Alright, you good. Everything good. Don't look
We all,
I'm just
we
making
got
sure.
them all on live.
Everybody said.
But are we live now?
Yes, everybody's live. Everybody's live.
Okay, it says another way.
Yeah, everybody's live. Yep.
You good right there? You ready?
It's not gonna get everybody.
You know what I mean?
So you may have to move on.
I ain't know. I ain't know.
It's good.
Okay. And all the phones are on live, right?
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
All right, guys, it is showtime. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm Amanda Miller with Amanda Miller Talks. I am super excited. Thank you guys for joining. Super excited that you guys were patient enough to let us get this audio all together, right? So what we're going to do is really, before we get started, we're going to get us some of the air circulating in here, right? So I want to be sure that everybody knows that I'm not selfish. I just had to break the ice right there. Had to break the ice in the room, but no. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm your girl, Amanda Miller with Amanda Miller Talks. As you know, we are 105.7 The Phase, and I have today with me my boy Chris Hughes and his team, and we are going to be talking about Curse of a Father, and a lot of other great films that he has on Tubi, or this team has on Tubi. So guys, make sure first and foremost that you're out there watching these films and these movies, first and foremost, because they are African American men, also great Macon from the Mac hometown, so Georgia, guys. So thank you for tuning in. So what I'll do first and foremost, I'm going to start with Chris, and then we'll make our way down. So first I have Chris Hughes with me right here. Chris, give a shout out to these people.
What's going on? Chris Hughes, Macon, Georgia. Hughes Productions.
That's right. Vasco Sanders.
That's me, Vasco Sanders, Macon, George. How y'all doing?
Bernard Jackson.
What's happening? Bernard Jackson, Triple M Hughes Imperial. Shout out to everybody back home in the Mac. Let's go, baby.
And then I'm going to come back to Arthur Moore.
Arthur Moore, Hughes Imperial, Triple M.
So
From the Mac, I'm sorry.
that's okay. You know, guys, I am originally from Macon, Georgia, but definitely been in the A for a while. So my A people, I won't leave y'all out. I am definitely Macon raised, but definitely I'm an A-town girl. But Chris, we're going to start with you. And I want you to tell us a little bit about who you are, what you got going on, and then I want to talk a little bit about, well, mainly about A Curse of a Father. Very excited about it.
Okay. Chris Hughes, born and raised in Macon. I always wanted to be an actor. But you know, I never wanted to go to school for it. So in my mind, I seen all the rappers getting into acting. So I said, I'm gonna rap my way into acting.
Okay.
So that's when I started rapping. You know, that didn't work. So, so I started doing stage plays. A school friend of mine started doing writing stage plays. I got in stage plays with him. Got bitten by the acting bug, and you know, eventually, me and Arthur decided, hey man, let's just write something. I had a young lady by the name of Lanita had said, yeah, you need to write your own thing. You're talented, write your own thing. I'm like, nah, I can't write that. I can't write my own thing. Y'all write your own thing, and I make it funny, or I bring life to it. So eventually, we just ventured off and did it, and here we are. So, writing, producing, and directing.
Wonderful. Tell me a little bit about A Curse of a Father. I know you have some other great films out there, and we'll talk about those a little bit later in the segment, but let's talk about that.
So, Curse of a Father, I wanted to create a film that touched on domestic violence. We see a lot of times Hollywood make domestic violence films, but at the same time, it's kind of like the same setup. The woman gets abused, the knight in shining armor comes in, save her, they live happily ever after, the man who abused her gets what he deserved, but we know in real life it don't happen like that. Right. 90% of the time it don't happen like that. So I wanted to deliver a film that would show that part of it. At the same time, we still have a dope storyline behind it. But yeah, I just want to show a different side of it. So Curse of a Father definitely is a movie that's going to get everybody's attention.
Without giving it away, because definitely we want people to come out to the premiere and definitely follow the movie, tell us what is like the main theme of, and I heard what you said about the offset of differences of what it would bring from what has been out there, but tell us a little more about it without giving it away. Like,
yeah,
what can you share?
It'll basically show that domestic violence don't only affect the husband and wife.
Okay.
It also affects the child or the children.
Absolutely.
And I think this movie really shows that it's affecting the woman, the children, especially the son. So the son has some deep-rooted issues that's caused by what he's seen his father do to his mother at a young age.
Wonderful. And I think that's a great point. That a lot of times we don't really deep into the impacts of a lot of things that happens in families. Right. Definitely such as domestic violence and how that impacts the kids. So I'm very excited to be able to, hear and see what that's going to look like from your standpoint, your creative mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So with Curse of a Father, what drove that for you? Like, I know you stated that seeing other films and wanting to do something different, but when you really just dive deep, tell me what that looks like for our community.
Well, being in Macon, a lot of people know that there has been a lot of domestic violence situations that turn deadly for the husband and the wife, and it leaves the children in turmoil. So it's kind of like bringing light to something that, because, being honest, Macon has this, reputation of being bad and everything, a lot of killing, but nobody is just talking about that part of it.
Right.
And that part of it goes on a lot.
And it does.
And so I just wanted to bring, light to that side of it,
Yeah.
Because you never know what happens to the children when they grow up. It could, resonate until what we see now. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Cycle keeps going.
Yeah. And actually, that you speak of that, being from Macon, and so many moons ago, but it's still reality. No, I'm saying this situation. Right. So it's still reality, and it still hits home. And I'm sure for these two individuals, which I just really won't name, but they are family because they're my cousins. But it happened in our family as far as domestic violence, and where my cousin killed his wife, and it happened so many months ago, but I'm sure to this day for them, it still hits home to lose their mother and their father. You know? Because not only did he kill her, he actually killed himself afterwards, and so he didn't get the opportunity to serve his time in his day.
Right.
But believe you me, you know, for the man upstairs, he'll serve his time in his day. So you're absolutely right. It happens a lot in families, and we really don't touch on it and talk about it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of sits on the road, you know.
If we being honest about it, we never really seen it too much in our community. You know, when you typically hear about that, it's not, you know, black people. You know, just being honest about it, but you see that a lot these days.
Right.
And so, you know, it's something that we should talk about, you know, because it's happening more and more, and it's becoming too common.
Absolutely. So for Vasquez, are you part of, tell me your role with the team and if you're part of the movie?
Yes, I am. My name Vasco.
See, that's what I'm about. See, now me and him gonna have that's what this fan was about.
Y'all been having it out.
Right. That's what this fan was about. So me and him gonna be back on it again.
Yes, I am. My name is Vasco.
Absolutely.
No, but I play Henry in this movie, and you know, and we always talk about the what happened to the mother or what happened to the husband or whatever. But what about how the trauma that they put on the kids? Because that's a lot of things that we have in the black community right now. We don't talk about those issues. We always push them onto the side or take it to the Lord. But the Lord say, give it back to you. Now you deal with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what we don't do. So I'm glad Chris wrote the movie because it brings that side of the story to life. What happens after?
That's right.
Okay, mom, dad's gone. Dad, what happens after? And that's what we leave out. You know, it's other family members. You have friends that are involved into this whole domestic violence issue, but we never touched on what happens to them too. That affects everybody.
Yeah.
It does.
You know, so when Chris wrote this movie hits white people, black people. It doesn't matter what color you are. This people hit every genre, everybody. And everybody should take note of this movie because Chris wrote a classic here. He really did.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, he did.
You know, and then everybody, if you have an hour to look at The Price is Right, well, you have an hour to look at
Which is so true, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is.
Because we want to be sure that not only that we support those in our communities that are doing great work, but that has a meaningful story to tell. And he's bringing that out in this film. And a lot of times we do, unfortunately, grow up in households where we don't talk about things.
Right.
You know, and we got to get out of that. I think if we can now start in generations such as ourselves, where we're now bringing up our kids, talk about issues, maybe we can start a trend where our kids can start and feel comfortable to talk to their kids about uncomfortable issues.
And the cycle stops instead of how we came up. Let time go by, and it just only time will tell. On the road, I don't mention you don't mention it.
Yeah.
We better not. You never get to the root of the problem at hand.
If grandmama did this, well then your great mama did this, and your grandmama did this. Now your mama did this, and honey, your mama taught you how to do this way. So it's generational.
Yes.
You got to break that curse.
You got to break that curse, and I'm loving
that curse.
that.
Yeah,
Break that
curse
curse.
that curse.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And so for you, Bernard, what's your role? And look, he started.
You know, I play the role of Willie Earl Jackson, which is an old man mechanic. I watched Henry and knew Henry as he was a kid coming to adult. And my part is I'm on the comedic side. So when you get to the moments where you want to shed a tear or getting emotional. Here comes the company to bring you right back.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, you know, when Chris wrote the script, wrote the film, and I read it, I said, well, dang, bro, like, this is really fit to my personality. I'm like, so when at the reading, I really jumped into it. Like, I actually like got into voice and everything at the reading. I'm really ready to shoot the next day. when I read it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
He ain't lying.
And so I
so, you know, cause From the Shadows I only had one scene, but I made sure that I brought it, and I actually had a scene that I would be unforgettable. So now with Christopher Father, I said, okay, now that's my chance. Like, I got multiple scenes, and I got to come this side, so I really got to bring it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm actually hosting the premiere, both premieres, 3 p.m. and 6:30. So, you know, 6:30, if you want to come and have some fun, now that's just what you come to. I mean, you know.
I hear you. So, Arthur, for you, your role in the movie?
I played Nate. Me and Henry go back and forth in the movie, so I ain't gonna tell
So
too much.
Henry got a lot going on about going back and forth with people.
He's insecure about Nate. Henry is insecure about Nate.
Yeah, Henry is insecure about Nate. I guess I can tell this part, but Nate and Henry's wife that he marries in the movie, me and her had a one date really, but Nate really, you know, that one date Nate really, you know, feeling her. So, but she moved on and married Henry. So, anytime Nate comes around, it upset Henry. So that's my role. I mean, it's like they said, Chris wrote a phenomenal movie. It's gonna go over to different genres of people. It's not just hitting blacks; it hit everybody. I mean, if you're alive and you're a person, it's gonna hit you.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So he hits on a lot of key issues. Like Bernard said, then when you feel like you wanna cry, he gonna come back with the comedy. So it's gonna be a phenomenal movie. It is.
Cause he got Chris has these, I'm gonna say 4 scenes that's in this movie that if you don't feel anything in it, then something is wrong with you.
Right.
If you don't feel
Got you,
anything,
got you.
because every actor, actress that's in this movie, you can see every bit of the pain, the struggle, and everything that they're going through. You know, so and so the whole cast did a phenomenal job.
The whole this is one of the best cast it was small. This one it was a small cast.
Wow.
So this was. I mean, you're gonna see a lot of people. Matter of fact, it's everybody from the Shadows in this movie.
Almost.
Right?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. So, but it's a smaller cast, but they did a phenomenal job.
If you don't feel this movie at some point have a tear or make you shake or make your flesh crawl and your hair stand, something's wrong with you.
Go look at yourself in the mirror.
I'm crying right now.
No, somebody did say that domestic violence is a generational curse.
Yeah, it is.
Anybody want to dive and talk about that? Even though we kind of touched it a little, but anyone.
Generational curses are real. Like, to be honest with you, my pastor now, Pastor Tate, shout out to Pastor Tate. She helped me realize about generational curses. Like, it comes in all fashions and all forms. It can be anything. It can be alcoholism. It can be drugs. It can be lust demons. It can be anything. And in order to break that, you have to face it.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
You can't just keep brushing under the rug like Noah said. You can't, or Vasco said, you can't just. Well, my daddy did it. That's just how it is.
Yes, absolutely.
My daddy was a player. I mean, I'm be a player.
Right.
Or my daddy drunk liquor, so I'm just gonna drink liquor. That's a part of the family. That's how we do. You know.
And that is real, though. You're absolutely right.
real.
You
Yeah.
take that type of attitude, and you're absolutely right. You bring about a good point. Because we people, when I say we, people, including self, we typically take that type of attitude that, oh well, but this has happened, that happened, and so I'm not doing anything wrong because
Because it was
because
came
it was
before me.
yes, but no, we have to understand that those things that are wrong, we have to make sure that we are breaking those curses and we do something different.
Right.
You know, it's really true that we all got some things in closet that we can typically say, you know, we don't want to pass down to our kids, right? And so with that being stated, we have to ensure that if there's a conversation to have, that we have those conversations, you know. And
But the thing is, if you have any siblings, because me and my sister do this all the time, I would do something and she'd say, okay, you act like your dad. You know, so let me reel that back in. You know, so we try to break that already. Yeah, so I see my son doing so I say, don't do that. So I used to do that. Don't do that. Let me tell you why.
Absolutely, we have to tell the whys. And then also too, what I hear a lot of people say is because I said so. So I'm glad you said the why, right? Right.
I mean, you don't really have an answer. I'm doing I say so?
Right. And I mean, I've done that, but I've learned, like you said, we gotta tell our kids the why. Yeah.
Because let's face it. Everything our parents have did in raising us was not always 100% good.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That's right.
So, it's me being a parent nowadays of over 11 with 2 11-year-olds and 19-year-old. It just, I really have to think a little bit more on how I react to certain things. 'Cause I can't take the same tone and the same reactions as I was raised. Because, not saying that I wasn't raised right, but
That's right.
you know, it's trial and error. Ain't no such thing as a perfect parent. There's no handbooks of being a parent.
That's
So,
right.
but that's the thing. Your parents coach you with they learned from their parents.
Right.
So a lot of stuff they taught they
What was wrong?
was
And
lying.
then it comes back to generational curtain.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, we can't do the same thing that we do now that we did back in 1997.
Right.
No, keep talking, guys. I'm gonna fix this.
You know
phone.
collard greens and black eyed peas. Don't y'all do that. Y'all be eating collard greens and black eyed peas forever and still
Make sure you eat your greens and New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So you might have money.
Eat your peas.
Hey, I don't know how many times I did that and then broke the whole damn
what? Eat collard greens and black eyed peas like that.
I'm telling you, and you still
No,
ain't
still,
that
bro.
shit.
But it's
Oh,
just
you
what
did. Talk to them got
talk.
gas.
Yeah, it's what you talk. It's what you
Got
talk.
gas.
You know, if you talk wrong, you're gonna think wrong.
And
Right.
we want to break those curses. So I love that word, curse of a, within this title, curse of a father. So we want to always look towards breaking those curses. Let's talk about, because you mentioned something about when you read the role. So Chris, for you, like, tell people that who wants to get involved in these films, because I know you have some up and coming, and we'll talk about that. What does casting calls look like for you guys? Or do you just select from the
as
people
of
that
right
you know
now-
that have talent?
As of right now, honestly, it's like I focus more on your attitude. I focus more on
It's
your
okay.
It's all right. You're all right. I focus more on your attitude than your acting for the most part. Once you get on set, if you can, I feel like, okay, so let me rewind it back. Somebody asked me who's your inspiration. Is it Tyler Perry? I love Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is not my inspiration. My inspiration is John Singleton.
Okay.
Along with John Singleton. Huh?
You look like that.
You put it up behind that camera.
You know, John Singleton, I once seen the interview he did, and he was talking about Ice Cube when he wrote Boys in the Hood. He said Ice Cube had his table read, and Ice Cube was the worst actor he ever seen in his life. Like, he couldn't do anything right. But now look at him. So imagine if Ice Cube came to a audition. He would have bombed. And we wouldn't have Ice Cube as the actor Fridays and all this stuff today, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He said, I seen something in Ice Cube with his attitude. He was a positive dude. I liked him. And I worked with him. And that's how I do. Like, I don't look at people like for this, I might take you, I'm like, you look like a part that I want to put in my movie. I'm like, I can't act. Just try it out. You try it out, you might suck. But I'm like, do it this way, do it that way, do it that way. Eventually, you might get it the way that I want you to get it, right? So when it comes to that, I don't really do auditions, and I know it's not, Hollywood, but I go by like I typecast to a certain extent. You got the look, you got the personality, you got the attitude. Like, hey, I think you'll be good for this part. And if you suck, I'm gonna work with you.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
that's
So when
right.
I work with you, you'll get it. And if you don't, then we have to move on.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's how they do in Hollywood. But that's how they do in Hollywood too. Anyway, because they look for particular type of people in the movie. That's why when you go to a casting call, they say I'm looking for this type of person. And if they go to the audition and they bomb, they still gonna work with them anyway because they fit that look that you. And that's what me and Chris talk about this all the time. That's what acting is anyway. It's a look. If you don't have the look, then you're not gonna be right for that part. It's always a part. If I'm looking for a short, 5'5" female with the slim, that's what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? Dark female, that's what we're looking for. So
I've seen so many times that people are casting like, oh, she can act. I'm gonna cast her for this role.
But then
she don't look
fit
that
the
part.
Yeah.
Right.
And the part you like, I can't even see
I
her
might
doing
go out there
that.
and play Elvis
Yeah,
Presley,
yeah,
but I can't
right.
be her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the look does matter. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we run it though. Like you say you want to act. If I write something, I say, hey, she got the look that might work, or he got the look that might work. I'll reach out to you. If your personality fits, then we can run it because we can, we can adjust some things to make it work. As long as you, if you're hungry, man, for it, and you got a positive attitude, let's
do
work.
it.
Let's work because we don't do drama on this side.
Understood. So now you have any questions out there for us?
Somebody said, don't get it twisted. Christopher is a beast on film and stage, but he completely lights up, and you really see his creativity behind the camera.
Got it. Well, thank you.
Whoever that was, thank you.
Right, we appreciate that. So let's talk about, I know you mentioned some other upcoming movies. So what do you have in the works? And then I want to talk, since you guys are all in From the Shadows, I want to talk a little bit about that, but I want you to talk about your upcoming films.
Okay, yeah, so like we've been talking about Curse is Next. Curse of a Father, September 30th, Douglas Theater, Macon, Georgia.
Say it again.
Douglas Theater, Macon, Georgia. Curse of a Father. 2 shows, one at 3, one at 6:30.
September 30th.
September 30th. Saturday, you got a job, you ain't got anything to do. Just come on out there, man. That's the next film. Currently, we're working on Lines of Allegiance, which is written by my boy right here, Bernard Jackson. He wrote it. He wrote a dope script, man. I think I was the first one to read it. He said to me, hey, bro, tell me what you think about this. So I wrote it. I read it. I'm literally, my wife like trying to talk to me and say, hold on. Because I'm into it. Because he wrote a dope script, man. We're filming that right now. We plan to release that one probably in April. After that, I'm starting to write on my third one, which is Trials of Matrimony.
Okay.
It's dealing with real life stuff, kind of like, problems in marriage. What married people go through, cheating, infidelity. That's going to be a good one. Then we're doing From the Shadows 2. Now that From the Shadows is on Tubi, everybody can see the first one. Then we come out with part 2. And then after that, we're doing a comedy, a mixed comedy. When I say mixed, I mean like a black and white type comedy.
Gotcha.
One thing we've talked about. My boy gave me a little pushback on my idea. I want to bring back that old school comedy, like pushing the envelope. I'm talking about Sanford and Son, All in the Family, Jeffersons, the stuff that make people say, "Oh, you can't say that." I want to bring that back.
Gotcha.
And somebody told me, shout out to Shane Levy, he told me that it's going back to that. So by the time we release that film, hopefully we'll be there. If not, we don't got shit down there, y'all.
I'm gonna let me skip go to Bernard, then I'm gonna come back to you because Bernard, I want you to tell me a little bit about the film and that you've written, but also too we'll come back and talk about that because I think right now we live in a society where people are so sensitive about everything.
Oh, yeah.
And so let's talk, and then we'll come back to that and tell me what you think.
Lies of Allegiance is a film that I've been writing on since 2019. And I kind of paused for a minute because, you know, in life you go through things, you know, life events, changes or whatever. And I was a part of From the Shadows and Curse of the Father. So I kept getting writer's block here and there, like, okay, what direction should I take this in? And you know, so we finished Curse, had the premiere From the Shadows. And one day I said, you know what, Chris, I think what we should do, since From the Shadows released on 7 Club TV in the spring this year.
Shout out to 7 Club.
Yeah.
Shout out to the first platform.
But the reception and the feedback that we got from the Shadows, I said, bro, how about we link them together? So actually, my character and his character, Tornado, we're actually first cousins in my family. So from Lies of Allegiance is about one guy that has a clique, that has a crime clique, and deep down inside he really wants to get out. But the loyalty to his team, even though against his wishes, something happens and he's sent away. And while he's away, he's really at peace because he wants to be out anyway. You know what I'm saying? So he really ready to give up everything, just go, you know, just have peace for once in his life of living a life of crime so much. But tragedy strikes and it forces him to come back. And he's faced with a decision now. Do you stay on what you believe in or what you feel to keep your peace at this moment, or do you fall back to what you used to keep the loyalty and the love of people that you really know what I'm saying, put your life on the line for? So it's based around who I used to be as a person. You know what I'm saying? The old me. You know, my old street name was Professor, and from South Macon, and that's who I used to be. So the film had like at least like 60% truth to it, and the other 40% dramatic effect. So, I mean, I'm enjoying it. Matter of fact, everybody that's in here is in it.
I was gonna ask
Everybody
that.
that's in here is in it. You know what I'm saying? He plays the other detective that hates like us. You know what I'm saying? But he comes back as Tornado. He comes back as Smooth. So I mean, we kind of like we link it together to give the audience a little bit of From the Shadows, and at the same time, not give them too much. Kind of like prepping up for part 2.
Gotcha.
But From the Shadows 1, Lies of Allegiance, From the Shadows 2, they're all linked together. But the special part about it, they all have their own storyline.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the carbon cutout of the
Gotcha.
same. It has its own swag to each one. So,
Got it.
but he doing a dynamic job of helping me direct. I can't lie. He's very helpful. I mean, you know, he helped me with everything. So.
Well, I think that's what makes a great team.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has his own unique talent, and then you respect those talents and blend them together. And that's what makes a dynamic team. And so shout out to you guys. Well, kudos to you guys for really pushing that and making that happen, especially for your hometown. I do want to say, before we talk about the sensitivity of what society looks like now, from the Shadows, at the end, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't. I really wasn't. I was thinking it was over. But to know that those, then once I got to that part and saw that, you know, the way that it went off, I expected it to be a 2. But I was telling author 2 though, and you guys have to give me her name, his wife. Oh, shout out to her.
Rashida.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she, oh my God, she did an amazing job in that film. Really liked it. Her character, really liked it. Her role, and she played it well.
Right.
So shout out to her.
Rashida.
Yes.
But the crazy thing is, though, it really wasn't a plan for a part 2.
Okay.
When From the Shadows released on 7 Club, we got so much positive feedback, and the audience honed in on Tornado and Snoop B. Shout out there, let them know. You know what I'm saying? But they honed in on the Tornado and Snoop B.
Yeah.
like social media went crazy. And then he called me and said, "No, I know I said I was gonna do this, bro,
but we gotta fix that.
We gotta do a part 2." I said, "Hey, whatever you want to do, brother, I'm with it." So
when we did that, it was like everybody was like, "Oh my God, tornado and Smooth. Oh my God." Snoop was such and such. Tornado did. I'm like, we didn't even write it for that to happen. So
but it's a good thing, absolutely. Yeah. So it's a good thing that it did do that, because I was like, okay, a lot of films they'll end and you're like, man, why they end it like that? It's like,
I've probably seen our film end about 5 times. Like, damn, they still doing it.
Hey, the thing about it, it was long. This is what I heard from everybody who watched the film. It said, no, man, it was good. It was long, but at the same time, I couldn't stop watching it. Right. Yeah. So I was like, what I'm saying? Hey, well, everything was done right then. You couldn't stop watching it. Everything was done right.
That's how it was at the premiere, though. That premiere was, I could see people start standing up thinking it was over, then they'll sit back down and stuff.
That one of the ones when
it was over, though, we see it was clear and everybody was gone. We
had to get back in the room,
right? Yeah,
and seeing the whole room as a whole. Like,
they went
just a lot of people.
Wow. That was the first film, man. We were like, okay, we got something to say.
Good. So wonderful. Great. So let's talk about, I know for you mentioned that this was not really what you had for yourself, but it grew to be a passion. And so I'll start with you since we started on that end. So was acting and filming something that you've always wanted to do?
Not always. I'm about like, you already know.
Yeah.
Grew up, me and my brother was singing.
Yeah, of course. I knew, but wanted to see the audience. I got it right.
I ain't heard him sing
Let them know.
Right.
I don't believe it. I ain't heard him sing.
He heard no.
As long as I've known him, I've never heard him sing.
I've known him 12 years. I ain't heard
him sing nothing. Matter of fact, go sing it. You must have known.
You talk to that.
Like the wrong from Marty.
But yes, I do remember the singing and the talent shows and all that great stuff.
So we did all that. So, once we got a little older, we couldn't be dancing on stage. So we was like, I was like, let me do something different. And just wanted to be in the entertainment, so I let me try my hand in acting. So we did that. And now it's more of a passion where I like the directing and stuff like that too, but I leave that up to Chris most of the time. Now, if I come on set or whatever, I help him out. He'll ask me what I see, whatever, because he know I still got the vision. So he asked me what I see or whatever. But most of the time it's just him just doing the directing. Him and Jeremy. So Jeremy is just the film guy.
Jeremy Cameron. Jeremy is a beast on the camera.
Yes. And with the boom mic.
Inside joke. Boom mic. Jeremy will get the trash can.
The boom mic.
Jeremy is so dedicated, man. We filmed a scene with Christopher Falls. We was at the front door. All you could see was me and Lattimore, right? But the whole time, I know Jeremy is behind us on the green trash can with the boom mic. So I said, we gotta hurry up. We gotta hurry up and run this dialogue, bro, because we can't mess up. Because I just hit in the back of my mind, like, any given moment, I'm here. Like, just the crash the trash. I'm like, bro, hurry up. This man on this trash can behind me.
Yeah, he climbed in the attic and had the boom mic.
Like you said, that man dedicated to his job. Right.
If we was filming right now, he'll be in one. I'm in frame. Jeremy, we love you, boy.
Shout out to Jeremy, man.
So I asked him, like, for the Shadows, he did a very good job. The acting was great. But I was like, okay, so I because I know him, would have never seen him in that role. And he did an amazing job. So I just never would have seen him being Smooth, the drug dealer, and all this stuff. Just because I know him.
You're right,
But a person that doesn't know him wouldn't know, like his character and who he is as a person. So you really brought that out in your talent to make that come to life. So shout out to you for making that come to life. And we talked for you about that being your, how you started off and how you got there. But tell the people a little bit. I know you said John Singleton, but is there anyone else that drives your passion?
Just just wanting to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like I'm very particular about things. I was telling Nard the other day, I was like, Kurt's done? Like, yeah, it's done. But every time I go back to watch it, I find something else to change.
Gotcha.
So I'm a perfectionist, which aggravates me because I always have to go back and change something. I have in my mind, look, I don't like that, but I'm gonna let it ride because they're gonna be all right with it. And I sit there and think about it, and I go change it again. And it's like, being a perfectionist, it's a gift and a curse of a father.
That's that word. That's that word.
So just trying to make the best product for the people because we do it for y'all. We don't do it for ourselves because if we did it for ourselves, we film it with these phones and call it a day. But we want to make the best product for everybody.
So let me, and I just wanted to say this because we watch a lot of Tubi movies. Now that we've gotten caught in the hype of Tubi movies, but my baby always say, "Mama, let's change that," because I could tell that movie been shot.
I'm with her on that. I'm gonna tell you, it's movies on Tubi that's terrible. It even some on Amazon Prime that's terrible. Let's just say that. I mean, if I turn on your film and plug it like an Obama flip phone, we gonna change this right here.
Right.
I can't get into it.
Yeah, she'll be like, let's find something else. And so for you, Mr. Controversial, and y'all know that we are just joking now, but
Hey, nice quiz.
right. So, and now, how did you get into filming, acting, and all that?
Well, actually, I met Arthur
Okay.
at the gym.
Oh, y'all discovered him.
Okay.
I met Arthur at the gym, and he said, "You got the role for you, man."
No, tell the true story.
What was the true story?
Hey, man, I want to
Look,
act.
they
Hey,
want
you know,
I want to act.
hey,
I want to act, man.
Hey,
I want to act. I want to act.
I grabbed my jack the most to put me in the movie.
I see that.
You're like, whatever you want, whatever you want. So he introduced me to Chris, and I did this role, and Chris liked me, I guess, and then they decided to.
I don't like him.
I mean,
in that role, like in that role, in that role.
Yeah.
No, I was just
but like, and not jumping off the subject, but my favorite passion, I'm a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I love.
But then when you're ready, you got your comedian
Oh, we already
that's ready for you.
We already talked about it.
But
Go ahead.
I want to know, everybody should be thanking Chris, because Chris gives you an opportunity. When I met Arthur, they gave me an opportunity.
Right.
And sometimes when you look, you have a diamond in the rough that nobody even knows about.
Right.
And everybody that Arthur and Chris and even Bernard have found, these are diamonds in the rough. And Macon just has so much talent.
Yeah.
It is so much talent, going from our area, Macon, Warner Robins, Perry, Forsyth. It's just so much talent. Twiggs County. Say it like, greatest place on it. Twiggs County. Greatest place on it.
Twiggs County. 16.
But we
Watch it.
What you got?
It's not really a question, but Larry said that he's watching a movie as y'all speak.
Oh, wow.
Okay, thank
Thank
you,
you, dog.
Larry.
Thank
Can
you,
you read
man.
that? What Larica said?
On yours?
I think it's on Chris.
And while they're looking for that, for you, let's talk about your passion, your talent, and how did you become?
My passion, I'm just gonna be honest with you, like, since I was a child, I wanted to be in show business. Like, I kind of took the same path. Shut up, Vasco. I kind of took the same path as like I did music first. you know, I had a group, you know what I'm saying, we did music, whatever, and then
Crazy.
lo and behold, I've been knowing Chris for years. Like, actually, my soon-to-be wife and his wife are actually first cousins, so that's what we met 10 years ago. But we didn't know 10 years ago that we actually would be here doing films. And we had the same dream, the same passions for it, and didn't even know it until it started. So he reached out to me with the roles or whatever, and then it just kind of we started it from the shadows, and we just kind of going, you know, going forward with the projects. And I really thank him for actually giving me the vision and to give me the chance to bring my vision to life. You know, so it's really like the opportunities are endless. Like, and he see that I'm versatile with everything, because in every production that we put out, I'm playing something different.
Natural.
Nothing is the same about my roles in each movie. Like, even Child of Matrimony, I'm playing a whole different kind of role that I've never played before. But y'all will see that, you know what I'm saying? But I just thank him for the opportunity, and we work with each other all the time on everything. And he got his back, he got my back, and I got his. That's just how that just roll like that. So I mean,
I just shout out to him for having the time to do this, because football season comes, he got to go coach the Steelers.
Man, you know what?
I don't
Man, that even was a joke in our scene from the shadow. Like, I get that so much. Man, you like Mike Thomas, like, really? Like, that's how you think, you know what I'm saying? But,
So congratulations. I heard you mention about getting married, so congratulations on that. So, but I do want to say to Larika's question, let's kind of double back to Christopher Father, to her statement saying sometimes being in love isn't enough to break the cycle. What do you guys think about that?
oh yeah.
Well, shout out to
She's
Larika.
She's actually his co-star, yeah.
She
Yeah.
plays his wife
Yeah.
in the movie. So shout out to her. But what was the question?
No, she was just making a statement saying sometimes being in love won't break the cycle, or
Right.
can't break the cycle.
Oh, yeah, and it don't.
How many times we heard, I love you, but love don't pay your bills? You know what I'm saying? How many times we heard that? So that works for everybody. I love anybody.
I know plenty of them got knocked across the head, and the next day they go
In
back.
the name of
But I
love.
love him. I
You know
love
what I'm
him.
saying?
And the thing what gets me about when I hear women say this, I'm gonna make him change. You can't change nobody that don't want to change. That's
They had to want to change.
They gotta want to change.
Make excuses for people like,
Well, he didn't mean to hit me.
he didn't mean to hit me. He didn't mean to black my eye.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're gone for 2-3 weeks, and then they're back together smiling on Facebook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Putting the image out,
Yeah,
it's all good, but when you
It's
know
okay.
you're really going through hell behind closed doors, you know what I'm
Because
saying?
once a person does something once, they get comfortable with it, they'll do it again.
Right.
I did it to you this one time. You came back to me. I do
Yeah.
it.
And I think that's happening a lot in a lot of relationships, more than we like to think. Been there myself, so definitely not the abuse part, but definitely believe that the relationship is going to change.
Yeah.
And if we really just be honest with ourselves, I think a lot of us have been there, but I think it goes back to having real conversations, not just with people in your family, but with your friends and yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Friends and
Definitely.
yourself.
Yeah.
I think you gotta talk to self, but I think we be afraid to tell our friends and we'll have those conversations like, right. And it's okay to talk to them without judging. Like, I have a great group of girlfriends, and we have opportunities to really talk about things that we bounce off each other, because from that perspective, I need you to see something that maybe I'm not seeing,
Right.
and I'm coming to you as a friend to say, hey, what are your thoughts? And do you think guys do that too, though?
Yeah.
We do it.
Oh yeah, we do.
You got one life to live, man. Just cherish it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you got that group of people, like you said, you got your girlfriend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Guys have the guys too. You know, it might not be a whole waiting to exhale moment.
Right.
But we
That's
talk
right.
to each other
Triple
and
M.
express, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. Real life situations.
But that's only if you got a good selection of
but I
friends
mean,
that
I
really
agree.
do this.
You got to have good genuine friends in your corner. Like,
Because that judgment system in, just because you could be in the group chat and the other person go to this person, did you hear that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. You're absolutely absolutely
You
right.
know?
Because I hate to hear my girls, meaning my African American women, say that girls are messy. And I won't discount that is true, but I will say if you have a genuine group of people that have your back, they're gonna give it to you right and uncut without judgment.
Yeah, right.
But, no, I'm gonna go a little bit further. I'm saying that women say that girls are messy, men are messy.
Oh yeah.
These days, a lot of men.
Hey, look.
These days, you can trust some female, but you can trust some
Yeah,
female.
Like, I own a barbershop in Macon. Like, so
You see how the
I see all men from every walks of life, and some people you hate to see coming. Because, like, we have guy talk. And when guy talk beats you home, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because women have a sensory where they talk. Men have theirs. And there's nothing wrong with we having guy talk and having girl talk.
Absolutely.
That's where we be ourselves.
Absolutely.
But whenever the man in the vicinity takes that and runs with it,
that's when it becomes
okay.
Because the woman's gonna take it a little bit.
Right.
We can say something right now amongst us, and we laugh about it. But we might say something, and you're here, or your friends are here, and y'all like, oh, that went right. Y'all might have a whole discussion when we leave.
Yes.
But we don't forget about it.
Right.
Because it's like, that's the difference. So when you talking amongst men, real men, it should stay right there because, I know how my wife is. She's a woman.
That's right.
So if you say something, and she's gonna like, well, why such said that? But I might be thinking like, what you talking about? Because I heard it and we tripped out about it. That's the end of it. But women are different, and we understand that. Real men understand that.
That's right.
But some
That's
men,
right. Absolutely.
feed into that woman stuff.
Me and Kristen have a knockdown. No, man, what I ain't gonna do is I ain't gonna do this. Well, I ain't gonna hold no grudge. Come and call in 30 minutes. What you doing? They gonna get some eat.
Right. And that's true friendship.
Yeah.
What he really gonna say is, you probably have to block this part out.
And we talk unupdated Maria here, so no, go
He gonna
ahead.
say, hey, bitch, what you doing?
So have you guys ever thought about, and I'm just throwing this out there because I know barbershop is barbershop, but have you ever thought about, I heard you say comedy, I heard you say you do comedy, you own this barbershop. Have you ever thought about doing something within that space? Since we talked about talking.
I never thought about it, but, it's not off the table. I mean, it's a possibility that whatever, there's a will, there's a way. So, so if it comes up that it can be done, it will be done. So, yeah.
Chris, is there anything from Curse of a Father that, or that we did not touch on, one that you would like to share or talk about, and then definitely what you would like to share with Curse of a Father?
I think we hit everything. The main thing with Curse of a Father, I just want to show again that it's not always bright on the other side. We get all these films, and I repeat it, we get all these films that shows the woman getting abused and all this, and then you have the good looking guy comes in, save her, and they run off together, and the guy who was abusing her gets what he deserves, and they live happily ever after. I just want to show that it ain't always like that, and also that it affects the kid as well. The kid has to become an adult one day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
he takes that, or she takes that, what she saw or he saw as a kid, and now they bring it to adulthood. So that man or woman gets with that man or woman, and now he's abusing them because of what they went through.
Mm-hmm.
They have a kid, now the kid gets abused. So it's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
So, other than that, I think it's going to tell the story. Within that, like I say, it still has a dramatized storyline to keep people informed, intrigued by the story. I think it's a dope storyline. I depend on these guys and everybody at the table read. I always go back to Darius Lattimore. He told me at the table read. He called me and was like, "Bruh, from the shadow was good, but you got yourself something on this one, bruh. Or you got yourself," and that meant a lot, man. Like coming from him. So
yeah, because me and Latin Christopher Father, we were side by side co-stars, and because he was Rufus, he's Rufus. We two old brothers.
when they play Snoop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, man, And he don't play fair either. Because like, I asked for a character when I was seeing like couldn't even hide it. I couldn't hide it because like we had it and I'm down and he ad-lib and I like bust out laughing. I try to run beside the car. But y'all might see that. Y'all might see that. But hey,
at the table
That
read.
was one of the best times on set. You know what I'm saying? When them two got together, we was out there in this hot
oh my God.
garage.
Between take it was a big man. I know
Yo.
the year. Cut. Y'all ready to film? Y'all ready again?
But the thing is, when we on set though, with all of us, it don't feel like we working though. That's the best part about everything. It don't feel like we working. We having a good time. I haven't been on Lines of Allegiance yet, but I can tell that they having fun just by some of the pictures that they taking. I'm like, but I haven't been on the set with them yet. But so from what I experienced with them, that's some of the best time we had on set. You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna go back to Darius Lattimore, and I know you watching this. When we was at the table reading, and after the read, he pulled me to the side and he looked me in the eye because we're cousins. He pulled me and said, "Cuz, let me tell you something. You got to bring this." And just him saying that made my mind go to a different level because he was like, "Cuz, you read it. What? You got to bring it.
and that's
You got to
crazy.
bring it."
That's
So
crazy.
when you got people on your team to tell you that,
Yeah.
man, that's the word.
And that's crazy because he came. That's great. I didn't know that because every time we filmed, he knew all his lines.
Y'all ain't gonna have me.
And he actually was challenged. He actually was challenged the writer of the film because on our way up, he's reciting lines from Lines of Allegiance. And so like he's challenging me, you know, and I'm jumping in with him back and forth. He's dope.
Matter of fact, on our the beach scene, when we sitting on the beach, cause I play his daddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just did
And the
that.
gray hair and everything. I play his dad in the film. So we sitting there filming on the bench. I wrote it, but mind you, when you write something, it don't mean you remember it.
That's right.
So I'm sitting there like, man, I lost my mind. He looking at me like, Rich, get it right, cause I lost my mind. And then he brung it. He like brung it, man. He brung that energy that brought me more into it. I was like, okay, Vasco. And then cut it. I had to give him a high five. Like that.
All right, then, Vasco.
You killed that.
He come in, he know his lines.
Yeah, he knew.
And
He knew.
that's
He worked hard. He worked hard.
Yeah, that's gonna mean a lot because you're not wasting too much time on other stuff when you come in and learn your line. Which we really didn't have too many people that didn't know that line, but just being on Curse of the Father with him, and he knew his line like everybody just reading before. He ain't doing them over there eating some Skittles. right.
I'm gonna tell you what got me, cause I'm a delivery. My job, my 9 to 5, I'm an independent contractor. I deliver, and I deliver to his job. So while we was filming Curse of a Father, I pull up to the receiving dock. I reverse, get out the truck. I see a big giant on a forklift, look like Mario Kart on a Donkey Kong go-kart on Mario Kart. So, he pulled up with his hard hat on, just bust out laughing. He loved laughing. And just doing just like that. He laughed. I said, "Man, what's up, man?" Because I didn't know he worked there at that time. "Man, what's up, man?" He was like, "What's going on?" He said, "Man, I'm ready." I said, okay. I'm like, thinking, okay, he ready? He said, no, nigga, I'm ready.
Right, so he
He
was
rolled up
ready.
his sleeve.
I'm like,
He's on the forklift.
Right.
I'm like,